This is a repair video on a Troy Bilt TB110. It's a 550EX Briggs & Stratton engine, 140cc. There are mysterious little circles rubbed into the surface of this mower. Looks like paint or grease. It's not covering any, like rust holes. Sometimes you'll see repairs to a deck that are rust holes, but these are just uniformly put on. Maybe he's trying to camouflage it or something. I got it from a guy for $20, and the wheels are in good shape. I did have to take them off and lubricate them, and because they have a metal insert in the hub of the wheel that gets rusty on the axle part, which is that little piece that's going to come out of there and run out here. This pops off. You stick a screwdriver in there and pop that off, and then get you a 9/16 socket and take the wheel off and sand the axle. I also sand the inside of the wheel hub with some sandpaper, as well used. And now these wheels spin great. They were real stiff. The back was okay, but these were super stiff. It made it hard to even push the mower. Fortunately, they weren't so rusted that they were sealed and wouldn't come off. Sometimes that happens. But the interesting thing about this mower today, and the reason I'm showing it to you, is I'm going to have to replace the tank. And you say, wow, that tank looks great. Well, take a look at this. I see weird things, and this is certainly one of them. Those are holes in the gas tank. And for some reason, the previous owner or someone, stuck twigs down in the holes. I guess hoping to somewhat seal that. That one's trying to grow. Look at that. Got a little seedling there. Nature's wonderful. So let's get the little twigs out of here and replace this tank. And to do that, I'm going to have to get a 5/16 socket. So let me do that. And also let me set up the camera so you can see what I'm going to do here. Let me spread these legs here a little bit. There we go. Okay. So here's what we're looking at today, is getting this tank off of here. And wish I could go a little taller with this guy, but maybe I can. Hold on a second. Is that better? Yeah, that's a little better. So I've got to take this rewinder off to get to the tank, which has the holes in it. And the tank clips onto a metal housing in here. And you just lift the tank off. There are two clips on it. And now the hose is attached to the carburetor, so it's going to want to resist a little bit, but it should pop off. So let's get the rewinder off, because that's got to come off in order to get to the tank. So let's try that. There's 3 of these. They'll either be sharp or blunt. These are blunt ones. I have not looked underneath this mower to look at the blade and see if there's any damage. I also have not checked the oil on it yet. I think now at this level, I'll go ahead and do that. And begin this repair. I don't see too many critters living under the rewinder. This self-priming linkage looks okay. Let's make sure that it springs back. It does. But it's not connected right over here by the carburetor, so it's never going to work right. Let's see how that appears to have compression and does turn. Let me show you what I'm looking at here that's a problem. This linkage from the muffler gets super hot. The temperature comes up here and begins to push this over, which then opens the throttle plate and lets the right amount of air and fuel in there. But look at that, it's not linked. See, this is not linked to the carburetor throttle. It pushes the choke out of the way, but it's also supposed to have a spring that runs from, it's going to run from, man, it's hard to see because it's so dirty down in there. But anyway, let's take a look under here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's the air filter. It's horrible looking, of course, so that's got to come off. And so there's the choke plate. You can see it. It's not releasing. As the automatic choke would get hot and come over, boop, it's supposed to push that out of the way. Well, it doesn't. And the reason for that is it is not linked right there. See, it has to push on that. But right now, it's just pushing this. So this has to come off. Maybe I'll just push it over with my fingers. Let's try that. There we go. So that's what you got to do. So now it'll work. Watch this now. See how the choke plate's out of the way? Now it's permanently out of the way, which is not good either, because it's missing the spring that pulls it back. There's supposed to be a spring there that attaches to that stud, right? It's going to one end of the spring is going to attach to that stud, and then it attaches over here as well. This needs to be connected, which it isn't. Let's put that up there where it belongs. There we go. Maybe now we can see the other end of where that spring goes. Yep, it's over. Everything's so dirty it's hard to see. But so one end of the spring is going to go on that stud there, and then it's going to run under this piece here. It's going to run under that, and the spring is going to go over and attach to that stud. And so that way, when the when this begins to push over and open the throttle plate to start it the next time, it's got to go back. And see, it doesn't now, and that's because that spring is missing. So that spring will then push. Let me do it with my finger so you can see. It'll push that and go boop and push it back into place. But that spring's missing. So in addition to taking the tank off, I'm going to improve that carburetor.